Hey guys, so today we're going to do this beautiful earring. You can make it as a pendant or like a brooch, like just you can make in the back to make it full and then add the brooch. I think it goes as well, but I think it looks awesome. Like, I don't know if you can see the color. I'm just gonna try to, maybe you can see it like this, how beautiful this is. The stone is oval aurora. It's 18 by 13 millimeters and the color is emerald. I got this from my country, so I don't know if you're gonna find the exact color, but I'm sure like if you search for emerald you will find it. So for the materials, you're obviously gonna need the stone is 13 by 18, but in order to get this, like, the pattern pretty much works for any size of stone. The only difference is the number of the first row. When you bezel the stone, you have to put a certain amount of delica beads, so it can be 24, 28, 30. On this size 18 by 13 we're going to be using 40. So the only difference, I think, because everything else, it doesn't matter the amount of beads you have, because the rows are the same. Like, it doesn't have to be like 20 or 19 or whatever amount, like it goes, each is the same. So I think you can adjust this to any size of a stone. Okay, so you're going to need a stone. If you're gonna be using 13 by 18, you can go exactly with my pattern. If you're going to be using different size of stone, you're gonna have to measure the amount of beads you're gonna need, or you can research and Google, not Google, but yeah, I think even you can Google, I think you can find it. On top of that, you're going to need some delica beads. Now, I'm using these. These are not exactly delica beads. These are a copy delica from Temu, because the bronze ones are a little bit too expensive for me. So I'm gonna show you how they look in here. They're not golden, they're like bronzish, but they are from Temu. So I suggest you either buy from Temu, but then you're gonna have to check the sizes because they're not all perfect, or use real delicas. You're also going to need some 15. You can use, if you want. They're too expensive for me to use Delica 15 but I'm gonna go with Toho. I'm gonna go with Toho 15 bronze color. So it's pretty similar to this one, but not exactly. This is a little bit darker. You can go with same color, but I think it looks a little bit better like this if it's different shade. Also, I'm going with this 2 millimeter rondelle. These are from this set that I got here. I got this from BB Craft. All of this set you can get on their site, so I really suggest you check. They have promotions all the time. Plus, you're getting a ton of beads. Like, you don't get one, you can get one strand, but they sometimes have promotions to 10 strands, or even to delica. They have 50 grams of delica, which is like wow, and super prices. So check them out. I'm going to leave a code, Laura R20, a coupon code, and you can use it, and then you get 10% out of your whole order. Okay, for obviously you're going to need a needle. It can be 11 or it can be 12, because we're using 15 Toho, so you might need a thinner needle, but I didn't find that to be a problem. I'm using 11. You're also gonna need thread. You can use pretty much any thread you want. I'm gonna go with Toho 1G. I suggest you use pretty sturdy thread, because generally when you bezel you tend to force the thread. Also, if you're not using original delicas, you might cut the thread if it's not pretty sturdy. So, because these are not very, the edges are a little bit rough. And obviously you're going to need, if you do earring, you're gonna need a clasp. So again, let's repeat. You're gonna need a stone, either 18 by 13 when we're going to go exactly the same size as me, or any other Rivoli. You're going to need the delica beads, 11 delica. You're going to be needing 15 delica or Toho. You're gonna be needing 2 millimeter rondelle, needle, thread, and clasp. So prepare all of this, and we're gonna come and start making the other earring. Okay, now I have my needle threaded, and I've added 40 delica beads. We will call them delica. 40 delica beads on the thread. If you're using a different size of a stone, after you put, like, let's say if you're using smaller, let's say you put 30. So what you're gonna do to see if it fits, you're going to, well, not do that, not lose your beads on the thread. Okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. I'm not gonna cut it, but let's assume that that was a mistake. It was a mistake, but let's assume it didn't happen. So what you're gonna do, after you have like 30 beads on your thread, you're gonna go through 3 of them like this, and you're gonna make a circle like so. Yes, and you're going to put your stone like this, and you're going to put this around and squeeze it a bit. Let me just put it in the middle and focus, so I show you how I do it, because I don't, the sizes of these are not always right. Like if they say it's like, for example, they say it's 10 millimeter if it's round, but it might be slightly off, so you're gonna need to work on your beading. So you're gonna make sure that if it's like this, like when you have the circle, that the stone fits. See? That the round stone of the circle you made fits the stone. So this is how you measure if you have enough on your first row. Now, after you have your amount, 40 for me, this is how it looks. You're gonna hold the tail, hold it like this, because this is not secured right now, and we're going to work peyote stitch all the way around using delica beads. So I'm going to move some of my delica beads. I'm going to show you how to do a few, and then we're going to meet each other at the end of each row. Okay. So you hold it like this, you secure it. You see my thread is coming out of this third one here. So I'm going to pick up a delica. I'm going to skip the next one, and I'm going to go through the next. Like so. Hold the tail, pull your thread, and make sure it goes exactly on the side of where it's supposed to be. You can either arrange it or just pull the tail and the working thread at the same time. And again, pick up a delica, skip the next bead, and go through the next one. The few beads you're gonna put, it's going to pull the tail, so you're gonna have to, you see how I pull the tail and they go nicely into the place. And again, pick up a delica bead, skip the next one, and go through the next. And you're gonna have to do this all the way around, and we will meet at the end. Okay, now I finished all the row. See, I only have one bead to add. Now, how we're going to do, like the, obviously, we're going to skip this one, and we're going to go through this, which is the next one. And in order to get to the next row, we're simply going to go up through this one. It's wobbly, not wobbly, but it's not because of the tail. But if I push, if I pull, it's gonna be fine. So this is what you should have so far. Now, depending on what stone you're using, I took out a Rivoli just so you see the difference. You see how thick this one that I'm gonna be using is compared to this one, like the edges. Let me just put them like this. See, this is much thicker than this one. If you're going for one of these, then the amount of delica you've used is enough. So you're going to go through the 50 rows. If you're going to be using one of these, like that thicker, you will need to do this 2 more times. So because this is the base and it has to cover it. So depending on what you're going to be using, if it's a thinner one, you're going to go skip to the 50 nose. If it's a thicker one, then you're going to do 2 more rows of delica, and you're going to do the same. Do peyote all the way around, and when you're at the end, go on the top. So you should have 2 on one side and 3. So on this side you're gonna have 3, and on this you're gonna have 2. Also, from now on, you're gonna see it's easier when you put to just bend it like this to work the peyote like this. So not going round. I mean going round, but like to make it like a wall. So you're just going to go like this and just pick up one delica and go through the next delica like this. See how when you pull it, it already goes nicely. So you're gonna do this 2 more times, yes? For the big one, for the fat stone. So you're gonna go 2 more times. You're gonna have on one row 2 and in one row 3. And we're gonna come back for the next part. Okay, so this is where we are now. Like if you have the thicker one, as I said, you need to have one group of 2, one group of 3. So this is the base that will surround our stone. See, it will pop. Trust me, it will pop. It will pop in very nicely. See. So when you finished the circle, you can just check if it enters nicely in your peyote. Now, the next 2 rounds, you're gonna have to pay attention to the thread tension, because if you make it too loose, then it will not tighten. You have to add the 50 nose in order to make it like a box. So you're gonna put the delicas aside, pick up the 50 nose. So pick up a 50 nose and go like you did before to the next delica. So again, we're going to make the same as we did the previous rounds and just use the 50 nose instead. And we're going to make sure our tension is a little bit higher now, especially on the second row, because we're going to do 2 rows using 50 nose. So go all the way around with 50 nose. Make sure you have a good tension on the thread, and go again in between each of the 50 nose with another round of 50 nose. So now here you have the rounds of delica, and now you're going to make 2 rounds of 50 nose. So 1 and 1 more after, and we're gonna come back and continue. Okay, so now we did the 2 rows of 50 nose, and if you did the proper tension, you will see that if you look from the inside, the 50 nose are closing up. Now, for the next part, we're going to need to get with the thread on one of these delicas on this side. So this is the delica, yeah, these are the 50 nose, and we need to get, my thread is coming out of this 50 nose, and we need to move on one of these delicas. So we're just simply going to go with our needle, work it through the delicas until we reach this side. So we work that one. And I'm coming out of this delica here. And we're on the other side. Now, on this side, we're going to do exactly like on the other side, but first we need to put our stone in. And after it pops, we're going to work 2 rows of 50 nose, like we did on this side. So make sure you do 2 rows of 50 nose and have a good tension while arranging your rows to fit the stone. And we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the next step. Now, after you finished the second round of 50 nose, This is what you should have, except the little hairs around. We don't need that. So this is how it should look after you put the rows of the delicas and the 50 rows. Now we need to do the bezeling around. So, okay, this wasn't, that was me hitting my phone. Okay, so if you did the thin one, so you have a round of 2, round of 1, round, so you have 2, 1, 2, 1. You're going to go exit one of the ones, meaning you have here instead of 2 you have 1, instead of 3 you have 2, so you're going to exit one of the ones. If you have like me, so you have 3 delicas, 2 delicas, 3 delicas, 2 delicas, you need to exit one of these middle, so in the middle of the 3 delica. Now if it's visible, so you have the, here you have 3 and here you have 2, so you're going to exit this one. So now I'm exiting this this 15 row here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up 1 delica like this. I'm going to turn and I'm going to exit this one. So you want to have your needle exiting one of the middle from the 3 delicas, or if you made it thinner, one of the ones, not the 2s. Like this. First row is super easy. You're going to be working with the delicas, and you're just going to pick up a delica, and you're going to go into the next middle of the 3 delicas. Like this. So you're going to be on top of the row with 2. Here is the row with 2, and you're going to be on top of it. So when you pull the thread, your delica will sit like this on top of the 2. And again, pick up a delica, skip the next one, and go through the next one of 3. Like this. And you're going to go like this all the way around. Now this is how it should look so far. I just have to add my last delica bead. Don't know how to make it to see it properly. So I'm adding my last delica bead, so I have to go through this bead here like this. So it's all circle done, and you're just going to go through one of these added delica beads for the next row. Now the next row we're going to be using 50 rows, so you're going to be picking up 3 50 rows, so 1 2 3, and you're going to go through the next delica bead like this. And arrange it so it sticks up nicely. You can just pull that one. Like so. Again, 3 50 rows, 1 2 and 3, and you go through the next sticking out delica like this. When you arrange, you can just pinch the top one. So you're going to do this all the way around, and we're going to meet at the end for the next row. I almost finished this row. Now if you want to have it just like this because it looks awesome, you can do so. You just have to add the last row, go with your thread till the top, like wherever you feel like it's a top, and you make the loop. That's it. But if you want to keep going, I'm going to add my last 3 50 rows. And I'm going to go through the delica, through the last delica. I'm going to arrange the group so it sticks out nicely. And I'm going to go through the first 2 50 rows of the next group. So I go through the first one and through the second one. So your thread has to come out of the top 50 row of the 3. So this is where your thread has to come out of. Now for this row is super easy. We're gonna use our rondelle. I wish I had this color rondelle, but I don't, so I'm gonna go with this this shade of green. So it's super easy. Just go with your rondelle through each of the top 50 nose in the groups like this. Just pick up a rondelle and pull a little bit so you have tension, and then you will see that they all go up nicely. Another rondelle, go through the next 50 nose like so, and do this all the way around, and we're gonna come back for the next row. Now I am almost at the end of the row. I just have to add my last rondelle, and I'm gonna go through the top of the 50 nose like this, pull it tight so it arranges nicely, and I'm gonna go through the next rondelle. This is how it should look so far. Now for the next row, we're going to be putting aside our rondelle, and we're going to be working with the delica and the 50 nose. So we're going to pick up one delica, one 50 nose, and one delica. So delica, 50 nose, delica, and we're just going to go through the next rondelle, from rondelle to rondelle. Now in order to make them sit nicely, you're just going to have to put your needle through the 50 nose and pull it up a little bit like this, so it sits like a peacock. And again, delica, 50 nose, delica, and go through the next rondelle and make sure you arrange it so that it sits like a peacock by pulling on the 50 nose a little bit like so. So you're going to do this all the way around. So delica, 50 nose, delica in between each of these rondelle, and I'll see you for the next row. Now I almost finished this row, and this is how it looks, and I have my delica, 50 nose, delica on the thread, and I'm just gonna go through the last rondelle, arrange my beads so that are sticking, the 50 nose is sticking up, but you see they're very wobbly, but it's okay because we will fix it next. And getting out of the rondelle, I'm just gonna go up through the delica and the 50 nose because I want my thread to come out of the top 50 nose. So it's coming off the top 50 nose here. Now this row is going to be a little bit different depending on what you've used. Like if you use the circle, you probably have to go with 3 50 nose in each. Because of some parts are like this part, for example, has this part has smaller distance. Let me explain. Let me see if I can explain. So between this delica bead and this, between this 50 nose and this 50 nose, it's 3 50 nose difference. But between these two, it's 4. So you're going to have to work around and see if the gap is big for 4 or if the gap is small. Like even you can see between these two and between these two. So you don't have to go 3 3 3, you can go 3 or 4 just to make sure that you fill up all the gaps. So between these two 50 nose, I'm gonna put 3 50 nose. So 1 2 3, and I'm gonna go to the next 50 nose like this, and it fills the gap. Now between this one and this one, it's a bigger gap, so I'm gonna go with 4. So 1 2 3 4, and I'm gonna go through the next top delica, 50 nose, and it fills the gap. Between this one and this one, this is small, so I'm gonna go with 3. 1 2 3. So I'm gonna go through this 50 nose, fills the gap. This one is again a small, so I'm gonna go with 3. So this row is dependent on how well things align, and because my delicas are not really delicas, I need to work around it and make sure that some are 3s, some are 4s. So you're gonna have to see this for yourself, if it's all 3s, if it's all 4s, if it just make sure that you cover all the way around, and we're gonna come back and make the clasp for the make the circle for the clasp. Now this is how it should look approximately when you're finished. Now your thread is coming out of 150 nose on a side or wherever, so you're just gonna have to go on this 50 nose, through these 50 nose that you added, till you reach one of the edges to make the loop. If you went with a circle one, you can do it wherever because it doesn't matter. But if you did it like me, then you're just gonna have to approximate where the middle is. I didn't find it really good last time, probably not gonna find it really good this time, so I'm just going to go through these till here. I think approximately hits here. So you're just going to have to go with your thread approximately where you feel that the top is, so you add the clasp. So I'm just gonna go through these to here, approximately in the I'm just gonna go a little bit on the side because this one is a little bit on the side, so it's gonna be wobbly all the way. Now when you reached your bead where you want to make the circle, just gonna have to go one more. Okay, so I'm going through these, just gonna pick up 4 50 nose, and my thread is coming from here, and I'm gonna go through these two. So this one and this one, like this, and it's going to make a nice circle, and I will enforce it. So I'm gonna go one more time through it, and I'm gonna go with the thread on my work so that it doesn't untangle. When I'm here, I'm just going to make a knot because it will not show, because it's going to be between the beads. See, it's going to hide there, and I'm gonna go a little bit more just to secure that it's not going to untangle or anything. And when you're safe that it's secured, the thread is secured, you're just going to fasten it off, and then you're gonna add the clasp, and you have 2 beautiful earrings. Hopefully you liked it, hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you order from BB Craft, don't forget to use the coupon code LauraR20. I'm gonna leave the details in the description, and have fun and happy beading.